The very latest from inside the earthquake disaster zone in Turkey and in Syria. This morning, more than 10,000 people are dead. The deadliest quake in more than a decade. And the grueling search for survivors is now into a crucial third day.
Easy, easy, easy.
This is a rescue from an Israeli search team. Turkish officials say more than 8,000 people have been pulled from beneath collapsed buildings since the first quake hit early Monday morning. Searchers continue to work nonstop, shifting huge slabs of concrete, tunneling into the debris. This morning, Turkey's president confirms more than 8,500 people have died, but that number is expected to climb far higher. Aid groups say the first 72 hours after a quake are crucial to get people out alive. The humanitarian crisis is also widening. Turkey's president says at least 13 million people are directly affected by the quake, but the disaster zone covers hundreds of square kilometers in Turkey alone. And Turkey is deploying tens of thousands of relief workers within that area. People in some hard-hit communities, though, say they are still waiting for aid. Chris Brown is part of our CBC News team in Turkey, live with us this morning, right on the site of a search that is happening. A search, Chris, that I understand witnessed a very sad moment just a few short minutes ago. But if you would, set the scene for where you are today.
We are in the city of Adana, Heather. It's about 150 kilometers from the epicenter of the quake, so not the worst area, but still, imagine 20 buildings in this city collapsed, and by any other situation would have been a catastrophe, just dwarfed by the fact that thousands of buildings in this country are now down. So you're looking at one right here. This is it is actually still a rescue operation. It's tempting to say it might be a recovery operation, but no, you can see quite a frantic pace of people using heavy equipment, using shovels, using hose, using buckets, everything that they can to try to dig into what's left of this 10-story building. And just as you were introducing me, everything went quiet here. You could hear a pin drop because they called for quiet because they still clearly believe there are wounded people who can be rescued inside that pile. And so everything went quiet, and then it resumed again and went quite quickly. Now, the last time that happened, it was a sad ending. And this was just 15 minutes ago, they brought out a body in a body bag. So it obviously, you know, they know where people are. They're trying to get to them. But so far, they haven't brought anybody out. And I can't remember if I mentioned it to you. They think there might have been 100 people in that building when it went down.
So we'll be back to you, Chris, as you continue to watch that. That's just in microcosm what is going on in these huge swath of disaster zone. Adana, I know, Chris, is one of the only airports that's still functioning near the epicenter, and a team from the UK arrived there. So you may see them on your location as well. Certainly countries are arriving to help in the rescue. Turkey sending thousands of rescue searchers as well, even as it mobilizes tens of thousands of aid workers to help survivors. So what are you seeing on that front, Chris?
Well, I can tell you on our flight that we came in on, there were two teams. One had just flown in from Mexico straight, long trip for them. Another one was coming in from Georgia. There were already British search and rescue people there. We know in different parts of this area that there are Israeli teams, teams from Azerbaijan. So this is a real United Nations of sorts of international help. And it's not an easy place to get to. Istanbul, where most of the international flights come into, had a snowstorm last night and the day before. So there was ice and snow everywhere, and everything was delayed. So people are upset, and part of the reason they're upset is that the aid, these workers, it's taking a little longer in some cases to kind of get them in. The President Erdogan, is making the rounds of some of the worst hit communities today. There's a lot of anger that you're hearing that so many buildings fell down. There was supposed to be something akin to an earthquake tax that people have been paying for the last 20 years that were supposed to make homes and buildings much more... I think I have to stop talking, Heather, for a minute. I think they've just called for silence. Hold on. No, they're going. Nonetheless, a lot of anger at the government, frustration that the rescue efforts are taking so long. But, as I say, at least here, this still is a rescue effort and not a recovery one.
Chris, so good to have you on the ground there as part of our reporting team, and I'll be speaking to you again and look forward to the reporting right there in Adana in Turkey at the site of one of the rescues still ongoing this critical third day.